Welcome to week 4 of Ring Talk with myself, Martin Theobald, and Steve Goodwin. We're going to have a little look back at Liverpool from the weekend. You've got a few fighters that are active this weekend, and a few questions that we've gathered from loyal viewers, and yeah, we'll see where we end up. So you're up in Liverpool Saturday night for the man that is Dereck Chisora.
Yeah.
A bit of a run out for him, really, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really take it serious, did he? He was just hitting him, walking away, I mean, he knows the serious business is in November. He just wanted to. I think he just wanted to go through the walking out to the ring and doing his stuff, and he knows full well that, you know, November in Monaco is what it's about, and then hopefully out again in December. But
how beneficial is that for a fighter to go through the motions and go through the hand wrapping with Don Charles and get in the zone, go out under the lights, do the business?
Well, for him it was important because when we did the deal to sign with Matchroom, that was an absolute 100% condition that he wanted. Eddie originally wanted him to go straight for the European title,
right?
But Dereck wanted that 6-round run out. He felt that was important for him. So that's why we did it.
Does he get himself mentally psyched up as if it were a world title fight, or was he slightly less?
I felt he was definitely. I've been with him twice now. I was with him at the Dillian Whyte fight, and I was with him on Saturday. And to me, he was far more intense on the Dillian Whyte fight.
Right.
He was laughing and joking on Saturday. But the Dillian Whyte fight, it was all business. You could tell the difference. Yeah,
because there was a bit of filming beforehand in the changing room, wasn't there, of him just getting his hands done and things. He looked quite relaxed for that. And
no, he knew. He knew what he was doing. I'm sure he'll be a lot more intense for the Monaco fight.
And so what's he doing in November in Monaco then? It's European title.
European titles. 1 of 4 fights live on Sky on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And then win that. And then we've got the option of a fight in December in London. And then go again in London in February. So we've got a whole thing plotted out, which is what I like for all fighters.
Yeah.
To have a plan. He's got a plan. First time for a long time, he's got a plan. He's got a set plan, so he's ready to go.
Does that make someone like Dereck, who's renowned for possibly having, you know, he goes up and down, having that set plan, set management, set promoter, all those things in place with Don Charles and yourself kind of overseeing it, with Eddie, of course. I mean, does that help him?
Oh, 100%. He's a lot better. He's a lot better now than he was before when I dealt with him, where it was all a bit undecided. He wasn't sure what was coming next. So I think, Dereck's Dereck, but this is the best situation that he's going to get going forward, and he's as happy as I've seen him, so it's great.
Good. And then looking forward to this Saturday night, you've got 3 fighters on the MTK show.
Mark Little, Adrian Martin, and Dale Church all fighting down in Essex. I mean, for our fighters...
Will you be down there?
Yeah, I'm going down there, and I think it's really important. Sometimes our fighters like to fight in the local area, and it's great. And you know, we're always the same with our fighters. We don't mind where they fight which suits them best.
Yeah.
And it's great. I mean, Daryl's having a fight then, and then he's coming back to fight in York at the end of November. Mark, I think, will be coming back and fighting in December. But you know, it's all about building their careers.
Yeah, I know you've got high hopes for those lads as well.
Yeah.
Adrian Martin's improving all the time. Each time he gets into the ring, you see something different about him than...
I mean, he's going to be very good. It's just the state of managing the right fights, the right time, not too early, developing him slowly, step up by step up by step up. And really that's what it's about with him. And Mark Little is improving immensely as a cruiserweight. I think he could be very good.
Yeah. And I'll be down there commentating on it. So
we'll see you down there, Martin.
Yeah. And so anyone watching, I think they've got it on YouTube, you'll be hearing my...
Daryl's got a big fight in November against Jordan Joseph, eliminated for the Southern Area title.
That's a good fight.
It's a cracking fight. So this is his warm-up for that fight.
Yeah, because Daryl came to you on the back of... He wasn't having the best time in his career, was he?
So we've got him going again. I mean, he's had weight issues and things like that, even since he's been with us, but we've got him focused now with... Daryl needs a focus, and the November 25th fight is his focus.
Yeah.
So he can now get his head around it. Each fighter needs something different. So my job as a manager is to understand the psyche of each boxer and then work within that and make them happy. Even if they don't know we're doing it that way, we're working around how I think they should handle. Not every fighter's treated the same.
Yeah. So in terms of looking forward for all those lads, Adrian Martin kind of into next year, perhaps looking at eliminators for titles, or
a bit more. I just want a little bit. I think he could be. I think he's a fighter that needs that bit more time. I would like to see Adrian develop another year.
He's very young as well, isn't he, Adrian?
Yeah, and I think he's. If we do it right, he needs another year of just build. And I think Mark Little's the same. End of next year, he should be pushing for Southern area. And Daryl's got his defining. Daryl actually wants to be pushed harder, faster. So that's why he's in with Jordan.
Yeah.
And that's a hard fight for him. But he wants to be pushed faster. See how he is, how good he is. So that's what we're doing for him. As I said, every fight is different.
Yeah, excellent. So that kind of covers. There's a few shows on this weekend, isn't there? What do you make of it? Because there's 4 shows in total this weekend. So you've got Cyclone on Channel 5, you've got ITV pay-per-view, you've got Crawler versus Burns on Sky, and then you've got the MTK one on YouTube. Like, there's so much traffic at the moment in terms of what... It's almost overwhelming.
Bad planning?
Yeah.
Because in effect, the Burns Crawler fight probably will have most of the boxing fans who have the choice probably watching that as number 1. I think the Groves Cox pay-per-view will suffer immensely.
Oh, that's Eubank Yildirim.
Sorry, Eubank Yildirim will suffer immensely, because if you've got these other things to watch, MTK will, same as if we were putting a show on. Top of the bill is ID Hill against
Sanjeev Sahota.
You're not really going to watch that when you can watch the other stuff. So you've got in order. You've got the Sky bill, and I think the Cyclone bill's got a couple of interesting fights on that I would be interested in watching. So that's not, and that's free to view for everybody.
Yeah.
So in effect, that's going to take priority over the other shows. You're not going to, unless you're interested in a particular fight, you're not going to watch the MTK show over the Channel 5 show.
The only thing you'd say with that is you could have that on a laptop. So somebody who's watching multiple platforms.
I don't tend to do that. Unless you're going to record Channel 5 and watch the MTK show, something like that. But then you've got to have an interest. Nobody's going to watch the MTK show unless you say, oh my God, that card's fantastic, because it's not. You've got to be specifically interested in a fight or a fighter to watch that. So that would be more successful if it was on a night when there wasn't other stuff on.
How does it work as promoters when you're looking at putting dates on for shows? Because it almost seems like there must be a bit of a Mexican standoff, waiting to see who's releasing their dates first, and then trying to squeeze either around that or...
We try and find out. We try and ensure we don't clash with Matchroom in London.
Right.
And then if Frank Warren is in London, we won't definitely not run against that, but we'd rather not. So we try and work around that. We try and get as much information about the dates before we actually officially run with them.
Yeah.
Because it's silly. We don't want to affect attendances and our boxers' ticket sales, etc., etc. So we try and be as smart as we can.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a finite number of people that want to watch boxing.
Yeah.
They can't be in 2 places at once.
Well, you've got the MTK show in Essex and you've got the York Hall show in London. That's a clash.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what happens. Both events will suffer a little bit from ticket sales.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
From people that are going to watch generally. So, but we tend to do well at York Hall, and we tend to sell well at York Hall. So what we're doing when we do it there works. So.
Yeah. All right, so that's my questions out of the way. We'll move on. We've had quite a number of them actually this week, so thank you to anyone that submitted them. Hopefully I haven't missed any. The first one that I have missed because I haven't managed to write it down was from JP Smith, but I think you're aware of that one anyway, which was around...
He was asking about any advice to somebody who wanted to become a manager because he wants to do it next year.
Yeah, and good luck with that, JP, as well.
But he's not going to be a manager next year because you have to have a licence for 3 years in a category before you can be a manager.
So,
because how can you manage a boxer seriously if you don't have any experience in the boxing world?
So can that be like, could you get a seconds licence and then 3 years later?
Matchmaker's licence, second licence, whip's licence.
Oh, right.
Anything, you have to hold that for 3 years. Don't have to actually, believe it or not, I think you can have a whip's licence and not even be a whip.
So you don't have to be active?
No, but you still have to, so that's just the rule. But I'm sure they would, when you become a manager, they have the right to turn you down.
Yeah.
A manager's role is the most important role in boxing. And I would say that most managers on the whole are not great. I would say that, vast majority are not good, and I wouldn't want them managing Josh if he was a professional boxer because I don't think they're competent enough.
Don't worry, there's no risk of that now, Steve. We've seen him.
I know, he's retired.
Undefeated.
But there are some good managers, but some aren't. So I think the management role needs to be of a higher standard. I don't think, personally, the fact you've held a category as a boxer makes you a good manager.
Yeah.
For example.
Same as football, though, isn't it? I mean, how many professional footballers that fail as managers? Yeah. They don't necessarily lead from one to another.
But if JP wants to become a manager, first bit of advice is you have to go and get another licence for 3 years, then learn, and then perhaps then take out a manager's licence at that point. It's not, you've got to be committed to the sport, and I think you've got to understand contracts well. You've got to be a good negotiator. You've got to be a good shoulder to cry on. You've got to be a good people skills person. If you haven't got all these qualities,
from therapist through to negotiator,
and you've got to be able to do all of it. And if you can't do all of it, you're not going to be 100% proficient at it.
Yeah. Okay. So a question from Andy Killick. Have you got any plans for Big Dave Abraham to be in the ring soon?
No, because Big Dave got married this year, and prior to getting married he decided he wanted to take a break from boxing, and nobody's seen him in the gym since.
Oh right, okay.
So the plans would be, if Big Dave gets back in the gym down at Punch London, if he ever decides to box, because I think there's a chance he doesn't box again, but if he does decide he wants to carry on boxing, gets back in the gym, gets fit, then we can start making plans.
Yeah. Is that frustrating then as a manager that you'd have to almost start again with them? I mean, Dave's an undefeated heavyweight, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that when you take a break like this, I think the majority of boxers never box again.
Right.
And he's 5-0, and he's going to now get tougher. And it's a realism stake when your stand-up opponents start to rise, and other things in life become important. He's met a lovely lady and got married. Some people think, well, that's it. I think it's very difficult for somebody that does that, takes a break and comes back. I don't think they ever reach. It doesn't really happen normally. There could be the odd thing, but I think once you've given up, you've given up.
Yeah. Another one from Andy Killick. Are there any plans to sign more heavyweights and do a heavyweight cup similar to the cruiser one? Heavies tend to get people more excited.
Are there plans to sign more heavyweights? Yes. There's 2 potential heavyweights we could sign in the next 3 weeks.
Okay.
But no, the reason we do those competitions are generally if you get a group of boxers in a weight category that are struggling to sell tickets, then by putting them together in competitions, they can all earn money and all strive to get somewhere further. If a boxer's struggling to sell tickets, what do? They become a journeyman, quit. So those competitions generally are for those boxers that need a bit of help in their career and are struggling with tickets.
All right. Question from Paul Oldtie. From a fan's point of view, what type of fight do you like to see most?
Competitive ones.
Yeah? But I mean, have you got any a proper tear up in the middle of the ring or something more technical or?
I like all boxing. I even like watching people coming through. But I think I don't like watching fights involving two fighters I manage. I don't like that. I just have to do it. But
I remember the K Prosper, Raheem Noble.
I mean, I didn't. I just don't want to watch fights like that. Not when I like both boxers. But I do like watching all. But I don't think there's any preference.
Okay. A question from Anthony Ridley. Is the matchmaking for non-pay-per-view getting worse these days?
Matchmaking for everybody is getting difficult nowadays. We had a phone call today from Neil Bowers, who matches at Matchroom. They've still got 5 fights to match on Saturday.
No.
It's difficult. It's really hard. There's less UK journeymen, less foreign journeymen. It's harder to match, and you have to have a really good setup to make it pay. I mean, one of my fighters who was fighting on somebody else's show had his fight cancelled because the promoter couldn't match him this weekend. It is more difficult, but you have to have a proper setup to try and make it work. And even Kevin would say that that sometimes, I mean, we haven't had it happen to us, but it can happen that you can't match, and we understand people having problems with it. But yeah, you have to throw more money at the opponent sometimes to get them to fight. Yeah. It's really difficult. It's so difficult now.
I mean, stuff must influence it, like the value of the pound going down against the euro.
Yeah.
Presumably means that every foreigner that you're looking to bring in is now more costly than they were 18 months ago.
20-30% more.
Yeah.
Everything's gone up, and the flights have gone up from some of these European destinations, because if the airlines are based in a foreign country and you're paying in sterling, the price has gone up.
Yeah.
So it's not just even that; it's ongoing.
The logistics and
so it just costs more, less profit for the promoter, because you can't expect the boxer to pay. I mean, some promoters do a ticket deal where the boxer underwrites the cost of the opponent. We don't do that, because the problem you've got with that is if the cost of the opponent spirals by 1,000, the promoter wants the other 1,000 off the boxer.
Yeah.
Which I don't think it's up to the boxer to underwrite. I think it's up to the promoter to underwrite.
Yeah.
But that's a separate thing.
Okay. Another one from Andy Killick was: can fighters turning over to become a pro approach you directly for managing or promoting, or do you only seek fighters?
We never seek a fighter, ever. I've just had another inquiry today from a lad that's had 50 amateurs and is very, very good.
Okay.
So he's contacted me through Facebook, and what I say to them all is, send us your phone number, we'll set up a meeting and we'll run through it with you.
How do people, it might seem odd to people at home, I suppose, to think that boxing business is done via Facebook or...
I mean, our inquiries are Facebook, through the website on email, or through a trainer that we know.
Right. I mean, that would seem the most traditional, standard way, I suspect, but to do it via...
Well, we get a lot of people coming to us direct. Boxers come directly, they say they want to turn over, and then we find them a trainer sometimes. Sometimes they go to the trainer and the trainer brings them to us. That's why we have relationships with all the trainers that we want to have with. Yeah. Not all the trainers. So we will only take a boxer from trainers that we've met and worked with. So some trainers who want to send us a boxer, if they did, we just wouldn't take them.
And do you ever go to the effort of verifying? So if somebody says they've had 40, 50 amateurs, do you go back and get their card and find that detail?
They have to do that when they go to the board. We have to get the card before we apply.
Right.
And if they come from the unlicensed scene, then we will take them for a session in the gym. Kevin and Josh will take them, look at them and make an assessment.
Yeah. Okay. A question from John Bailey. Have you seen, or are you expecting to see, the quality of fighter approaching you with the link to Haymaker, Ringstar and possible Dave TV coverage?
Well, I think it's happening, isn't it? In the last year, we've took Frank Buglioni and Dereck Chisora.
Yeah.
So they are which if you went back 18 months, you wouldn't think that's going to happen. So I think that's happening, and we're creating more of our own champions as well. So I think we are getting better quality amateurs coming. Better quality all round, but I think that's just happening naturally.
Do you think having the likes of Buglioni and Chisora act as almost like a conduit to getting other better talents in, just directly, just by having those names?
Definitely helps, because people will say if Buglioni, Frank Buglioni, Dereck Chisora want you to manage them, then that makes logical sense and we want to do that. I think people can also see we've got 4 fighters on the Groves Cox undercard, we've got 6, 7 fighters on the David Hay show that we're working with. If we're able to deliver these for our fighters, plus we're managing some of the top lads, why would you really, and the way that we do operate our management scheme, why would I don't understand why people would want to go elsewhere.
Yeah, and I managed to meet Buglioni as well on Friday night, and what a lovely man he is. Buglioni, is it?
No, the G silent.
I don't want to annoy him, because he's quite big actually. I stood next to him.
Lovely guy.
Lovely bloke, and made me feel very ugly, which, I mean, that's probably quite easy to do anyway, but he's an incredibly good-looking man,
really
annoyingly
nice,
so.
Really nice chap as well.
Yeah.
Really nice chap.
Right, where are we on to after my man crush? Niall Doran, quick one. Prediction in Crawler versus Burns.
2 fighters on the way down. I'd like to see Ricky Burns win.
I'd love to see Ricky Burns win. I would love to.
Ricky Burns, for various reasons, but Ricky Burns also, you've got to remember what's happened to him in his boxing career. I would love to see him win. I think that Anthony Crawler wins, and I think Anthony Crawler himself is an actual nice chap as well.
Yeah, having said that about Ricky Burns, Anthony Crawler comes across as just the nicest bloke going. But I think that deep down, I still want to see Ricky Burns win.
Yeah, but I think Crawler wins.
Yeah, Ricky Burns had a bit of a hard career in terms of some of the decisions maybe that have gone against him, and
things have happened. Yeah,
certainly Ricky Burns for me. I still think Crawler will win. Yeah, but there you go. Ross McVicker, some great fight cards of late. So is there a reason none of the shows are televised? Is it no appetite by TV or too costly, etc.? Thanks.
Which cards are you talking about? You talking about our cards or?
I would assume yours, but
our cards. So let's talk about our cards. No appetite for TV. TV generally they home in on. Like Channel 5 have got the Bain McGuigan card, and with all due respect to Channel 5, and we believe we could put on better cards than Cyclone do. That's what we believe, and that doesn't mean I have any disrespect for them, but we think we could, because they put in all they're doing is putting in one top of the bill and then filling it up, but we could fill it up with much better fights. So we believe we could do better than that, but Barry has got a history of being a good promoter. He's got some good people with Josh Taylor, so fair credit, they want to work with Barry, and Barry does a good job overall. So I think really what we need to happen is a new TV company or a new TV to come out and want to spend a little bit of money on boxing, and then we can deliver it for them. But until that happens, and there isn't anybody there that wants to do that, we're sitting where we sit.
Question from David Payne. What do you make of the IFL, VIP and Hennessy on YouTube platforms? Is it the future or is it a dilution of the existing audience?
It's not a dilution of the existing audience. I don't think it works yet. I go back on the same thing again. Giving your content away for free doesn't make any financial sense unless yourself as a promoter don't, it doesn't do anything. And I know you're going on the YouTube thing on Saturday, and if I was at home I would watch it. So but I'm going to be there. But if there's nothing else on, but in reality, I don't get the point of giving it away for free. Hennessy on paper, you're not going to pay-per-view YouTube. Very few people are going to do that. Doesn't make any sense.
If the numbers I heard alleged were anywhere to be near true, then it was a bit of a horrific failure. It's like, I don't know how true the numbers are.
I think the MTK thing, because it's running through the IFL platform, will get fair numbers. And
it's free. I mean, that's the difficult. Like, if you're giving it away for free, you'll get good numbers.
But then the boxers are not getting any better deal. Not one penny better deal for that going through a free TV platform, a free YouTube platform. Makes no sense.
Yeah. All right. Johnny G86. In light of Groves and Eubank's Twitter beef, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but Eubank was saying that he reckoned he finishes Groves. I think it was. I can't remember the exact term, but who's your money on if they ever met?
Eubank.
Is it? What's that based on? Like just styles?
I just think that
work rate.
I think that Eubank is still. I always prefer the fighter coming up than the fighter that may be sliding. I think George has achieved his goal now, hasn't he? He's become world champion.
It's got to be hard to motivate himself.
He's done it now, and he's been there, seen there, done it. I think he's a quality fighter, but I think Eubank is on the up. I think Eubank beats Billy Joe if they fight again. I think he beats George Groves. I think he just has the style to beat George Groves, and I think he's the one on the up. And I think George is on the way down. I think both of them beat Callum Smith as a separate sideline to that. I
agree. I mean, if the World Boxing Super Series ends up, I can't remember the brackets for it, but I think both of them do, based on the Skoglund fight from the other week.
But going back, it's a lot of the fighters that fight that style. They seem to get so far. And that's it. But I think that they both beat Callum Smith.
But Eubank's got a hard fight this weekend, didn't he? Yildirim's the one that apparently initially knocked the Gale's teeth out. So in that Badu Jack fight where he ends up,
I still think Eubank. I know it's in Germany. I still think Eubank will win. I think Eubank is really good, and I think he'll raise the bar. Yeah. So I think Eubank wins.
Okay. Final one. I saved this because I liked it the most. Again from Paul Oldtie. If you'd been Tom Farrell's manager on Saturday night, which is when he fought Hara Davis, got knocked down 3 times in the first 2 rounds and then subsequently further on, would you have shouted to his corner to pull him out?
I'd have gone into the corner and told them to pull him out.
Would you have actually done that? It was after. I'd have done it. Do you know what?
He can't punch, right? Tom Farrell's not a puncher. I've seen him fight before. He's a lovely kid because he shared the room with Dereck Chisora. Really nice kid. He can't punch. After 4 rounds, he couldn't win on the scorecards. He was never going to stop Hara Davis. He's shipping punishment really badly to the head. He couldn't win anymore.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think it should have been stopped in the 2nd round. Not even talking the 4th.
No, I agree. It was done after 2 rounds. He's 5 points down, getting a hammer in, and he's just getting beaten up badly. You could see in 2 rounds he was never going to win. Just pull him out.
And I sat watching with my wife on the sofa, and that first knockdown, I don't know if you'd have seen it.
I was sitting behind it.
But his head just went, and he looked gone, and I was amazed, shocked. Brilliant recovery powers to get back up.
Do you know something? Tom Farrell will never now be the same fighter.
No.
Ever. Any of my light welterweights now, you'd put him with Tom Farrell. Because, nice guy as he is, they should have rescued him quickly.
They should.
Because they let him take a sustained beating. His career's over. I don't know the corner people. Never seen them before. I'm sure but maybe they're going to sit down and have a reflection after that.
Yeah. No, I was really actually I was quite disgusted that it was allowed to go on, if I'm honest. As you say, he had a 25% knockout rate in 14 fights or something against low-level opposition. Nobody of Hara Davis's standard. There's nothing in there that says... And actually, it wasn't even necessarily the corner team, but the referee.
Well, the referee you've got to say is at fault as well. Yeah. But the corner team is there to rescue a fighter when the referee won't.
But I always think maybe the corner team maybe in the gym they've seen him knock someone out, spark out with one punch, and they've got that dream that he's going to do it still on the big stage. Like maybe that's what they're.
Did he ever? That wasn't.
He was never going to.
It was how long he was getting beaten up for. It was just. I thought it was terrible to watch. And the referee knows it's a big fight for him. It's in his hometown. He's the biggest ticket seller on the night. I think that does, to a certain extent, reflect with how people do it. They don't want to stop a kid who's sold that many tickets and that. So they're letting him go for the last level. But sometimes bravery needs to be rescued, and you need to be safe for another day. And once he was that badly battered, he should have been stopped by the referee or pulled out by the corner. You know, well before the 5th round. I mean, really, you would have said, you know, I think of 2 rounds I was sitting with Josh and I said, he said, it needs to be stopped now, it's enough.
Yeah. And
it should have been stopped in 3, it should have been stopped in 4, they're just carrying on until he was knocked unconscious, and we're just all going to seem to carry on and let him just take punch.
And just let him keep taking it and shipping punishment. But
terrible.
And what do you make of Ahara Davis, like the personality? Because I know he's very different to what he comes across when he does an IFL interview. That isn't necessarily the same Ahara Davis you get outside.
Well, I met Ahara Davis. We fought on a couple of our shows, and one day he was going to fight on one of the He was going to fight on a 3rd show, but he was then signed by Matchroom.
Yeah. So
I met him in Punch and Judy's in Covent Garden, and he came in and he had a Coke. I think we sat down for about 20 minutes, had a chat. Really nice kid.
Yeah.
I can honestly tell you, really polite, respectful, nice kid. The kid that you see giving it all that stuff is not the kid that I sat with.
But I think it's very much like a facade.
It's not him.
To build himself known to. You know, people talk about Ahara Davis. They wouldn't talk about him if he was a nice kid that you met.
But do you see after the thing that Tony Sims said to him in his ear, obviously, right, you better behave yourself.
Stick to the script, mate.
And he went there and said, I respect Tom Fowler's a fight. He done the right thing, and I think that's better now. He's known enough now. He needs to let his fighting do the talking, especially the Josh Taylor fight. He turned his back in that fight, and no matter what happens, he took enough punishment, and he did. He walked away from that fight. So he needs now to get back. He's a talented kid. However level he can reach to, he's going to now, and I think he's done. It's enough now. He could just be what he was at the end of the fight, because he's actually all right.
Yeah, I think it was nice. He did show some contrition at the end, and he was.
Because that is him. He's not like the other stuff he gives out. Yeah. He does that because he thinks it earns him more money.
Which he probably has, to be fair.
He probably has said he earned more money, because that's why Tom Fowler said to me, the only reason they've all bought these tickets is they want to see me kill him. And so he sold his ticket. So he probably sold 300 more tickets, 20 grand more through the gate, because Ahara Davis is playing up.
Yeah, there you go. Right, we're out of questions, so I think that's it for this week now. But thank you once again for tuning in, and we'll be back possibly next week, possibly the week after. We should work it out, depending what the general boxing traffic is and news. But yeah, we'll catch you soon. Take care.